Namaskaram. My name is Vivekananda. Literally, it means wisdom and happiness. I believe in living a simple life. I believe in thinking differently. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said, simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. Through this YouTube channel, I aim to bring time tested wisdom and happiness together into your business and life by unifying, simplifying, amplifying technology, nature, and yoga. The name of my YouTube channel is Tech Nature Yoga. My hope is to bring clarity to people who are in the so called West and are looking for some guidance. Even if you are in a different part of the world, you might still find my effort worthwhile because much of today's world is, as it is called, westernized. But before we proceed further, let us all introduce ourselves. Now, I have already introduced myself at the very beginning, so it is time for my guests today to introduce themselves. I shall call out each of your names. Please unmute your microphones and introduce yourselves. I would like you to limit yourselves to 1 minute each while answering the questions you see on the screen. Let us have a minute each. Here we go. I'll start with the lowland, please.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to try to follow your three questions here. Why am I participating? Because I have an interest in the Sadhguru's work, because I have an interest in supporting Vivek. He and I have been connected, doing all kinds of things together for a long time. Okay, so that's the why. The best way to contact me, well, I have a couple of websites. One is called arcticcarvings.com, and the other one is called workstyle-lifestyle.com. So you can find me there. And I guess I've given you the website, but I don't know whether I should mention the YouTube channel that we participated on for how many years? Something like 10 or 12 or 14 years. Anyway, I might just say that yes, my name is Lowell Ann Fuglsang. It's Fuglsang is a Danish name, and I spent my whole career helping people decide what they want to do. I started with career counseling, and then moved into coaching, and then moved into solopreneur success coaching. Today I'm enjoying my retirement through some study and discovering how to support Indigenous people in Canada as we move toward reconciliation. So I think that should do it.
Thank you, Lowland. It's time for Nidhiaka.
Namaskaram. So why am I participating? It's because this is so interesting. I really enjoy these discussions, and the topics are, something that I would love to, discuss. listen to other people's opinions and also be able to say what I think about these topics. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Science of Spirituality. It's a new channel. And the best way to contact me is, I would say, you can contact me at my email. It's a yogisword11@gmail.com. Yeah, so, and, try and go at my channel and see if there's anything you like. Thank you.
Thank you. But you forgot to mention where you are. In fact, both of you, I don't think any of you mentioned. I am in Reading, England, United Kingdom. And
I also in United Kingdom, and I live in Scotland, in Glasgow, and Lowland.
You're muted.
Sorry. I live in Canada, on the West Coast in the province of British Columbia.
So, yeah, today at least we are two different countries, or probably I should say 3 different countries. Scotland is supposed to be a different country as per, don't ask me, it's a long explanation, but.
Don't get into politics.
Exactly.
Yeah. We were actually expecting a couple of more guests today, one from France, another again from United Kingdom, but somehow they have not, I don't know, they have something more important to do, or whichever way. So anyway, let's proceed with what we have planned to do. We have done our introductions. So let us watch the pre-recorded video, which I have recorded just this morning. I want to record it mainly because I want to present it to you in a shortest period of time. And sometimes when I speak like this, there will be mistakes and so on, and that will result in video being longer. So whereas if I pre-record it, I can edit those bits out, repeat things that I muddled up, and hopefully present to you with a short, concise video. So here we go. I need to stop sharing the screen and then. In his book, Karma, a yogi's guide to crafting your destiny, Sadhguru gives several sutras. Sutra literally means thread. Each of these sutras hold a pearl or a germ, as it were. So we all would do well to make note of these. So here is Sutra 1. Let me read it out for you because it is very important. Karma is about becoming the source of one's own creation. In shifting responsibility from heaven to oneself, one becomes the very maker of one's destiny. As usual, Sadhguru narrates a made-up story to illustrate a point. So, let me narrate it for you here. It happened once the Pope went to the United States. His schedule was busy one with engagements in various cities. One day, he happened to be in Louisiana in a chauffeur-driven stretch limo, the vehicle that demonstrates the quintessentially American ability to stretch a limousine to its limits. The Pope was excited because he had never driven a car like this. He told the chauffeur, "I would like to drive." How could the chauffeur refuse the Pope? He said, "Of course, Holy Father." So the Pope took the wheel and the chauffeur took the back seat. The Pope started enjoying the car and his foot got heavy on the gas pedal. He hit 90 and then 100 miles an hour. He did not realize how fast he was going. Now, the Louisiana police, known to be sticklers when it comes to speed braking, swung into action. When the Pope in the zooming limo saw the flashing light behind him, he pulled over to the shoulder of the road. The cop got out and, carefully with his hand on his gun, slowly approached the car. He looked in. He saw it was the Pope himself driving. He peered into the back seat and saw somebody else sitting there. "Wait," he said. He went back to his car, took out the radio, and called the police chief. He said, "Captain, I've got a real big fish." "Oh, come on. Who is it? Bonnie and Clyde?" "No, somebody much bigger than that." "Sweet Jesus, have you got Al Capone?" "Oh no, somebody much bigger." "What? You think you've got the President of the United States of America himself?" "No, somebody far bigger than that." "Come on, who the hell can be bigger than the President of the United States? What have you got on your hands?" The cop replied, "I don't know, but he has got the Pope as his chauffeur." And that brings us to the crux of the matter. Most people don't have a clue who is driving their car. Look around you. Ask yourself how many people you know are living with any real understanding of the crazy locomotive called life. Most people are passive pawns in the ride, clueless about how the machinery works, the source of its octane, how to manage its direction or its velocity, or above all, who their chauffeur is. They talk of free will, liberty, and independence, but they have little or no control over their lives. Their destiny is something they create unconsciously. Welcome to karma, a dimension that puts you squarely back where you belong. where you were meant to belong all along, in the driver's seat. If we look at the literal meaning of the Sanskrit word karma, the meaning is action. But unfortunately, the most simplistic understanding has been in terms of good action and bad action. They see karma as a balance sheet of merits and demerits, virtues and sins, an audit of life. The unfortunate fact is that this has spawned a brand of fatalism and has been used to validate social injustices. Let us shatter the first myth. Karma has nothing to do with reward and punishment. It has nothing to do with a benign God up in the heavens. Let me quote from the book. Karma simply means we have created the blueprint for our lives. Please note the way the sentence is framed. To make it clearer, let me put emphasis on the words we have created. This means we are the ones who are responsible for the creation of this blueprint. It means we are the makers of our own fate. As an Indian myself, I often tell myself in my Indian language, this is my karma. When I do that, I'm actually saying that I am responsible for my life. In my opinion, those who follow faith-based religions believe that they are just victims of someone else's doing. I'm sure that we shall discuss this point later on today. Here is another quote from the book. Karma is about becoming the source of one's own creation. In shifting responsibility from heaven to oneself, one becomes the very maker of one's destiny. Karma is the natural basis of all existence. It is not a law that is imposed from above. It does not allow us to outsource our responsibility anywhere else. It does not allow us to blame our parents, our teachers, our countries, our politicians, our gods, or our fates. It makes each one of us squarely responsible for our own destinies and, above all, the nature of our experience of life. At this point in the book, Sadhguru asks a question. Are you ready for karma? He goes on to say that if you are not ready, then read no further. Here is another quote from the book. Karma is not a doctrine. You do not get any brownie points for subscribing to it. Well, at this point in the video, let me take the opportunity to request you to like this video. You certainly get brownie points from me when you do that. And if you are ready for karma and other wonderful content that I am planning to bring to you, please subscribe to my channel at Tech Nature Yoga and hit the bell icon so that you can customize the notifications you get when I upload a new video. Coming back to the book, Understanding Karma simply turns you from a white-knuckled, terror-struck passenger in the back seat into a confident driver in charge of the wheel, joyfully navigating the course of your own destiny. There is a lot in the book which I'm not going to cover because I want you to actually buy the book and read it. At the end of this video, I shall give you links to where you can buy the book in various different formats that may work for you, such as Kindle book, paperback book, audiobook, etc. But for now, let me give you a couple of headlines and a very brief explanation from the book. Sadhguru also gives you what are called as sadhanas. Sadhana is a Sanskrit word which means a device or tool. These tools offer you an opportunity to put into practice some of the insights you gain. The karmic cycle. Karma is action on 3 levels. Body, mind, and energy. Whatever you do on these 3 levels leaves a certain residue or imprint upon you. This pattern slowly shapes itself into behavioral tendencies. This can become a vicious cycle if these happen without your awareness. And just as some civilizations believed that Earth was flat and at the center of the universe, many civilizations still believe that there is only one life. It is all linear. One life. You start and then you end. But we now know that Earth is just a little round mud ball in this vast universe with billions of stars and galaxies. As everything in the universe, down to every atom, goes round and round, it is quite possible that even life can take a rebirth, reincarnate, and thus go round in circles. We need to remember that our karma follows us across our possible multiple lifetimes, and some of the misfortunes that we experience may be the result of our actions in previous lives. As we have seen, whatever you do with your body, mind, or energy leaves a certain imprint. These imprints configure themselves into tendencies. These tendencies have been traditionally described in India by a wonderfully apt word, vasana. Literally, vasana means smell. We Indians refer to this as a bondage, and our highest wish is to gain liberation, also called as mukti or nirvana. This is a sadhana, a tool or device that Sadhguru provides in the book. A simple way to become aware of your vasana is to try to stay away for a length of time from that which you like, long for, love, or consider to be the most precious. The intensity of the pangs you go through when you stay away tells you something about the nature and depth of your vasana. Now that you have identified your vasana, you can start working on transformation. If you think your entanglement is related to food, wait a few moments before you have a meal. If you are eagerly awaiting the arrival of a loved one, consciously wait a few moments longer before you meet them. Depending on how deeply entangled you think you are, wait consciously for a few more moments before you engage in that activity or interaction. You will see that your experience of food or love or life generally becomes that much more profound. Gradually, the 2 minutes of waiting for a meal could be extended for 2 hours or for an entire day. This deceptively simple exercise can mark the beginning of a tremendous inner shift. Consciousness is not a matter of behavior. It is the nature of existence. Compulsiveness, however, is behavior. The moment you wait before you engage in a compulsion, you are aligning yourself with the conscious nature of existence. Over time, this helps weaken the compulsive nature of your behavior. I thank the viewers who have been watching. Since you have been watching so far, it means you are getting some value out of this video. So, let me take this opportunity to request you to like this video. Please subscribe to my channel at Tech Nature Yoga and hit the bell icon so that you can customize the notifications you get when I upload a new video. The book is available in multiple formats and multiple languages: English, Hindi, German, French, Spanish, Italian, etc. It is also available in multiple formats such as paperback or hardback, traditional books or electronic books such as Kindle, or even PDF files. You would find the links to these in the description of this video on YouTube. So, I think that was a slightly longer video than what I planned it to be, but had to cover at least majority of it. So anyway, it's time for discussions. So I open the floor for either of you. Who wants to go first? Go on, Llewellyn.
Suddenly the space bar doesn't work again. I just wanted to point out how much I enjoy Sadhguru's humor. And I might say that those people that I know that are familiar with Sadhguru, that is probably the reason they stay connected to him as long as they do, even if they're not interested in pursuing what he offers. Anyway, that was fun. And I have to say that in the Pope story, maybe the problem with Pope is that he didn't know how to translate miles to kilometers. Anyway, sorry, I couldn't resist. That was the thing that came to my mind when he was telling that story. I loved it. Anyway.
Nidhi?
So, so yeah, what is the question? What are we trying to discuss here? I mean, it's a great story, a great joke, and I was captivated by what I was hearing. It's all making sense to me. I won't say I understand karma, but I can see how it works. Not that I completely can see, but I can kind of try to put the puzzle together, and I feel like, I mean, if it didn't work, then how would how would a lot of things, because it just feels like that is right. It just feels right to me. Yeah, I don't know what is the question here. So what is it that we're trying
There
to
was
discuss?
one aspect, as the Sadhguru has been saying in his multiple speeches and in many of the videos that I watched of him, he keeps saying that, and in fact, the Indian Supreme Court has, in one of its verdicts, declared that Hinduism is not a religion. It's in one of the Supreme Court.
I believe that. I think Sadhguru has
It's
explained
a
that.
lifestyle. It's not a religion, because it doesn't fit the definition of a religion. So, definition of religion is you need. I think it comes from rigorous. To me, it translates to something which is strictly adhered to, and so on. And the thing that I thought may be a bit difficult for people who follow faith-based religions is the ability to question things. If you are a devout Christian, you're not supposed to question the Bible. You're not supposed. The same goes with the other religions. You're not supposed to question any of that. Whereas in Hinduism, everything is questioned. There is question about everything. Does God exist? They do the discussions as a while I was a kid, not kid, approaching teenage years. This was in India. I witnessed a discussion about existence of God, whether God exists or not, and this was happening in a temple premises. Can you imagine such a discussion happening in a church ever?
Actually, it depends on which church you're in. my experience here of
Mhm.
all the different religions, there are certain religions that are okay with questioning,
Mm.
and there are other religions that are not okay with different churches.
Mm.
I think what to say that all Christian churches don't allow questioning, I think that's a little bit broad.
Yeah.
The church I grew up in, the United Church, is one of the most, one of the more, I shouldn't say the most, but one of the more open to questioning and trying to understand and all of that.
Mm.
Whereas there are some other churches that really go the other way and are very rule bound, etc., etc. So I think it's a little bit,
But it's a bit of, I'm going by the history that we know of. In history, how, I mean, uh, there are so many instances where scientists were prosecuted. They were, I mean, take the case of Galileo. All he did was
yeah,
telescope and so on. From
yeah.
what I heard, he was the first charge that was um, laid on him was that he was observing the celestial bodies, heavenly bodies, and he is not supposed to do that.
I would agree with you. If you're looking at it from a historical perspective, I would agree with that.
Mm.
But in a today perspective, I think that's going a little bit far.
Mm. Okay. It is that there are many parts of the world which still call themselves Christian or any other religion for that matter, and stick to the rules. And I find it odd. I find it a bit out of place, um, because the way I follow my Hinduism allows me to do all of that without being. I mean, there is the. I remember there was somebody asked Sadhguru about atheism and something like that. He said, I'm not able to exactly remember what Sadhguru said, but he was saying that atheism is accepted within the Hindu way of life.
Yeah.
You don't have to believe, I mean, Nirankara Brahma and all that. Yeah.
Can I expand on that?
Yeah.
So Sadhguru has said, and you might know, both of you might know, Sadhguru has said that a Hindu person, Hindu is a geographical, it used to be a geographical identity.
Mm.
So it was the land between Himalayas. So he comes from him comes from Himalayas. And it was called Indus Sagar. Indian Ocean is called Indus Sagar in Hindi or Sanskrit. So Hindu, right? That's how the land between Himalayas, and that's Hind, and the people are called Hindu. So it's like, so it's a Hindu person or a Hindu tiger, just like it's an African tiger. It's like that. So it's a geographical identity. It was not a religious identity, but they had practices, rituals, and when the invaders came to India, they had religions.
Mm.
And they saw them doing all these practices, which they had no clue what they're doing, right? And they're also worshipping. They're also, going down to something. And they said, that's your religion. Because if you're praying, that's your religion.
Mm.
And these are my words. I think Hindus or Indians are such accepting people and love land. If you've not been to India, I think then probably you might not think that I'm exaggerating. At least,
I have been to India.
all right. I don't know if you have met people who are very accepting. And I don't know, like India is very diverse. I don't know, but at least where I come from, people are extremely accepting. When we see people from foreign countries, and I've seen how people feel here, at least, when people see foreigners. Foreigner is actually negative term here. But in India, a foreigner is that's an excitement. Like, oh, we get to see someone from a different country. Oh, what do you do? And how do you live? Oh, you look so different from us. That's so, that's an excitement there. And here I see if someone is different, then that's a negative thing. But in India, if something is different, that's a source of excitement. And so because we were so accepting, they said, oh, that's your religion. And we said, okay, that's our religion. So we accepted it. We just said, yes, we didn't know what religion means. And we said, yes, that's our religion. And that's how Hinduism turned into a religion. And the concept that you were talking about, that you could be a Hindu and you could not believe in God, that's true, because Hinduism was not a religion. So you could be living in the land and you could be saying that there's no God. And you're still a Hindu because it's a geographical identity. It's not a religious identity. And those people were called Charvaks.
Yeah.
The Charvaks was the term. So you could be a Hindu and a Charvak. Right?
Who don't believe in gods at all.
People who don't believe in God, but you're still a Hindu. You can't still be a Christian and not believe in God, right? Because that's a religious identity.
Yeah.
But Hinduism was not. It has become now in this world, but it was not. And
my experience of a lot of people on this side of the water is, especially Canada, we tend to we try to be open and enjoy newcomers that come. But sometimes I don't think we do a very good job of it, but I know that's the ideal. But
I'm not sorry, Lauren, I'm not being
being
critical, and that's not a criticism, because I understand when a person from a different culture comes in and they don't adhere to your rules, they're littering on the streets, or they're doing something that that is not. You have rules, and you keep your society. You're proud of the way you live, the way and someone comes in and it's just not. That's not fun. But the thing about India is we probably don't have that many rules, which probably is not a good thing. But because we just chill. We are more chill, I think, because and then if someone else comes in, it's not a problem. We don't have any rules anyway. So I think
I didn't take offense to what you said. And I was about to take that a little further and say that there are many people on this side of the water that if they were asked, do you believe in God, or is there a God? There's a huge proportion that would say, I don't know, or no, there isn't. Or I'm still trying to understand. But to be a part of like a really devout person in one of the religions, you're right. You would have to say, yes, I believe in God. I personally do not believe there's a man up there with a beard who's directing everything on earth. I do not believe that. I don't even buy into the concept of somebody out there controlling my life. So.
Sadhguru has had a very beautiful definition of God. Sadhguru did not say that the God is a man. And he did say that, if you were a buffalo, you would think that the God is buffalo.
Big
So
buffalo.
because we are humans, we think it's a man or a woman or whoever, right? And he had a beautiful definition of God where he said, a God is a creator, right? He's a creator. He created everything. If that is the definition of God, if there is a God. He said the creator is not outside of the creation. The
Hmm.
creator is within the creation. So the flower that you see blooming, the human child that you see growing, the animal that you see running, the creator is within all of that. So the creator is not outside. It's not an outside person running the world. The world is being run by the creation, and the creation is the creator. So because obviously there is a force within us which is creating everything. And that is correct. And
It's
that's why you should be reverential to everything that you see around you.
it's all
That's
an
what he said.
inside job, you are saying.
It's an inside job. And so because everything is a job, everyone is a God. So you just bow down to everything that you see. Everything is God.
So the indigenous people here would say the same thing.
Yes.
They refer to the creator,
Yes.
and they would say we are all we are all one.
Yes.
So yeah,
I do have a lot of respect for the indigenous cultures.
yeah, I do too. So, but I was trying to sort of maybe help us not see some of the religions in as rigid a way as it was being described. That's all. Yeah. I have a question. Well, first of all, I need to clarify that I've been on this kind of path for years and years and years. This is not a new awakening for me at all. Okay. And I've done lots of things that fit in with what Sadhguru is saying in the book, although in some of the things that I've done, the word karma was not used. Okay. But certainly the concept of action and body, mind, energy, all of those things have been part of what I've done, but maybe using slightly different terminology. However, I still wonder, and I haven't maybe heard enough or read enough of what Sadhguru says. So the question arises for me is, how does the environment come into all of this?
Oh,
so if we see that we have created the blueprint of our lives and all of that, what always pops into my mind is, what impact does the environment have on the individual?
So you mean the environment that an individual is in, how will the environment impact the individual? It does. It does impact you. Unless you are someone like Sadhguru, unless you are someone who's very chilled out and you could be in a war zone and it doesn't affect you. That's different, but the environment does impact you. Because there are energies in the environment. The environment can create thoughts in you that are not conducive to the kind of karma you want to create. The environment can make you take actions, can force you to take actions which will not be conducive to the kind of karma you want to create. Karma, and that's why Sadhguru has said, I'm just repeating Sadhguru's words. That's why Sadhguru says that people living in, he talks about consecrated spaces. So like ashram. Like he has created powerful consecrated, like consecrated is like good energy spaces, like powerful energy spaces, where if you go there, you will just feel at ease. It will just, the environment will just remove the stress. Or so that's why it's so important for humans to be in those spaces, because it's so good for you. So the environment does affect you, which environment you are in. Although you do have the choice of being minimally impacted or not impacted, but we are not, most of us human beings are not that good at consciously making that choice. That's what I think. Like I've said, including Sadhguru's words and my words. Like
Yeah. Does that answer your question, Llewellyn? Or
Well, I would also add to that that our parents are part of the environment. And
the
and you
parent,
and
the
you have pointed out
civilization.
that the environment can be a positive one or a negative one, or can impact us or whatever. So I guess where I'm going is I see this as a journey. And I see life as a journey where we have been impacted by what we learned from our parents, what's in the environment, etc., but that we, if we don't sort of examine all of that for ourselves, then we've allowed somebody or something else to determine who we are.
That is, in a way, what Sadhguru is saying in this book. I mean, you also quoted, I mean, creating the blueprint ourselves. So, and I'm going to say, we create the blueprint not just for this lifetime, for the lifetimes to come, if there are any more. And there are videos where Sadhguru says that if you are with him, even for a moment, there will be no more rebirths for you. That's what he says.
that's a big promise.
Yes, yes.
We Indians, because we believe in rebirth, we will be drawn to that because we all don't want more rebirths.
Okay. Yeah, it's been very thought-provoking, and
Could I add something?
we are running out of time. Yeah.
Yeah. What I wanted to say is that I have said that there are many ways of exploring this, and I just started a new book that is called Deep Living. And the author of that book speaks in a very similar way, but she raises the idea that until we know what our own personality is, and there's a lot of research in and around what personality is, psychological research around what personality is. So the book is about the Enneagram. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Enneagram, but it's a tool to help you determine what different personalities and what aspect of all of those personalities that you have within yourself. So she interprets that as another way of moving toward creating your own blueprint. She doesn't use that terminology, but that's basically what she's saying. So I'm saying there are until we I mean, there are lots of tools around to help us go move from the outside to the inside.
Mm.
And I think that Sadhguru is doing a fabulous job with his humor and everything else that encourages us all to figure out, to move from the external to the internal, and to try to discover, who am I?
Mm.
And you know, where is that going to lead us? So
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay.
so if you ever want to see an Enneagram, that it's fascinating. Yeah.
Okay. It's now time to reveal what the next episode is going to be. It's going to be the chapter 2, or which is titled Volition, the Basis of Karma. Chapter 2 in the book. And he gives a sutra 2 there. It's a very short one there. Ultimately, life is neither suffering nor bliss. It is what you make it. So we'll discuss all of that. We'll cover it
It's
in
what's
the next
going
week.
on now, in the moment.
Yeah, we will cover more of that in the next week. So hope to see you all next week. Hopefully the more people who wanted to join in today will be able to join in. So thank you for watching, listening, and being a part of this discussion.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Namaste to all my relations, as Lowland says. She will explain it in probably next week.
Okay, thank you. Namaskaram.